How frustrating must it be for Stellenbosch right now to know that it doesn't matter what happens versus Chiefs, you're going to lose. Whether you play them on a Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, whether they score first, you score first, whether they're in form, out of form, they just seem to have your number. This is what this fixture has become. The 3-1 is a flattering scoreline. Kaizer Chiefs didn't play incredibly well, neither did Stellenbosch. This wasn't one of those back and forth games. But what I will give you Kaizer Chiefs is that I think they're the only team that realized that, okay, time is ticking right now. And they went for it, which is something that you can give to Nabi's team, that they are very positive and they go forward quite a bit. My biggest fear going into this game and seeing the starting lineup was when I saw a midfield of Ngobo and Sirino. And on one part of my mind, I thought to myself, there's no defensive people here. The defense is going to be exposed. Stellies is going to get another yellow card, maybe be out another game and do all of those type of things. But to be fair to them, it actually worked out pretty well. I think at times, the control that Chiefs had in that midfield shone quite a bit. They did play the ball together. And that is maybe my best case scenario was that, you know, you get 3 ball players and you can finally see ball being played. The only problem for me with that midfield was that I think they were holding the ball a little bit too much for Patrice. And I think in that they were allowing Stellies to get back into defensive sets quite quickly. I also think that they were playing a little bit too far apart because you'd want them to come together and have people to play off of, but it felt as though they were taking turns in coming to collect the ball. So Sirino would come deep and collect the ball, Ngobo pushing up and Cele pushing up on the other side. I think the front line doesn't work with this. There was one ball that was played by Umshini that Dupree should have done much better with. Or at the very least, we should have seen that ball be played 5, 6, 7 more times throughout a game. Because that was what I felt the danger of Dupree's is. And that would be simplifying the game. I often speak about simplifying the game in that you have to know your players' strengths and weaknesses and play towards them. The further away Dupree's is from the goal, the less effective he is, and the less effective his speed is if he has to start a run from down there and then run past the defender. So I'd love to see him more on the line, getting the through balls, right? I think Umodi is a little bit lost. Him and Lilepo, I don't envision them to be out and out wingers. I would envision them to be inside forwards, similar to Mohamed Salah, similar to Sadio Mane at Liverpool when they were playing together. They wouldn't be all the way out wide, and it would be about creating 3 options. Dupree's being said, he did have a very nice chance where he just chipped it over a defender and hit it. But they need to be far more clinical. When it comes to Stellenbosch, I don't know what is happening to Stellenbosch. Now everybody will point to the players that they've lost. Adams, they've lost De Jong, they've lost Adams, they've lost Van Wyk, they've lost Reyners, they've lost Van Rooyen, which are death blows to any other team. But I kind of liked what Stellenbosch was doing at the beginning of the season, where they'd gone away from 2-man counters. You know, it would be Reyners and Titus, or Reyners and Van Wyk on a counter, running at a defense that maybe is a little bit disorganized on a counter attack. But then this season they had brought in a 4-man option. So they have 2 wingers and a striker with a 10 behind them, De Jong playing in the 10 role. And what they would do is sort of overwhelm teams and then allow De Jong to be the brain of the operation and think about how he's gonna pass it and where he's gonna play it. They kind of abandoned that a bit because of injuries. Bomujela were out and De Jong was playing as a 10, as a striker. But since then, they haven't been able to find their identity, because I look at this game and I'm not sure what they were trying to do. Okay, so I know I stopped the video a lot, and a lot of you are wondering, why are you asking for money? So I wanted to show you. I asked for money because I want to do more of this. But the truth of the matter is that it took over an hour in order just to render that shot. And it takes even longer when I'm doing my normal content because, guys, here's the unsung hero of the channel. And unfortunately, Shem, but the screen is broken. I have to use a second screen and the performance is not up to it. So I'd really love to upgrade things like that. And when you look over here, this is what the setup looks like. Rehenga di patlo and rehenga di green screen, which is a reality of being a South African content creator. Also, this is what people think is my studio. It's actually my house. So if you still don't know that I'm doing all of this from my home, then I don't know. But that is essentially what I want to do. More of these cool things. But I need you guys to please help me out by donating 50 Rand or more into this account. You know, we're fighting for multi-choice. And for multi-choice, but there is subscription models all over the place. And I'd love to give the biggest quality while also being able to pay my rent and do things like that. That is where your money is going. And I promise to give you only the best content that I can if you do throw something in. So I just wanted to show you guys what I want to do with your money. I want to take this South African football and fulfill my dream of taking it into the future. But thank you guys so much. Remember, this is the bank account that you deposit into. Get back into the video. I'm not sure what the plan was or how they were going to score was going to come from. They did do a lot of wing play, which you'd expect, having Titus there. Trying to put him one-on-one with the defender on that side of Tove, and then taking Cupido and sort of playing him as a wing in transition and trying to make him face Msimango a lot. But I don't think they gave enough in order for them to change that game. And I was a little bit shocked to see De Jong, who again I rate as one of the best, the most underrated players in the league. De Jong and Abo Pans on the bench. I don't know if that was a good thing. But the teams played. Kaizer Chiefs took the lead. But what was interesting is watching the substitution patterns of the two teams. I thought Stellenbosch was going to murder Kaizer Chiefs the moment that De Jong stepped onto the pitch. And they brought in a lot of other players around them. I thought it was going to be like one of those games where Chiefs' defense is under pressure and they give up something. Kudos to Chiefs' defense. They didn't look as fragile. They didn't let as many chances go as they normally do. But you could tell that Stellenbosch was pushing. The mistake for me that Stellenbosch made was taking out Ubutsaka. Because once Butsaka came out, it became counter on counter, counter versus counter, who's going to have the biggest counter, and there were huge gaps in the middle. Which then shocked me, Coach Nabi shocked me when he took off Cirino. And I was like, no man. Why would you take off Cirino? There's a point where he took off Stellen. I was thinking, yeah, if this goes to extra time, Stellenbosch is going to wallop us. Because in as much as I love Mfundo, in as much as I love Obrigado, Shabalala, in as much as I love those players, I also understand that they don't have a level of decision making towards the end of games or when they're playing. They don't have a level of decision making. They have all the effort in the world. They run, they open up spaces, they're all over the place, they get into the box. But when it comes time for the final pass or the final play or the final whatever, they can't give you that. And I thought Stellenbosch having Abo De Jong on the pitch, Abo Barnes last season's, he created the most chances last season of any player in the league. For example, I thought, okay, this was going to be a chance for Stellenbosch to really hammer on Kaizer Chiefs until something breaks. But luckily, none of that happened. And the game was very, very open. Would have loved Chiefs to transition a little bit more. But because you have Mfundo, because you have Shabalala, because you've taken off Abulilepo, you can't really push that hard. I think Mart coming in sort of messed up the chemistry of the middle a little bit in terms of how to play the ball and when to play the ball. I think Mart is excited and gets onto the pitch and runs a lot, but it doesn't really give you too much. What I do like about Mart is that if you do play him in the right position, like an 8 that's a little bit higher up, you do get the destroying. He likes to win the ball back up high, which is not something that you could have done too much in this game. So very, very interesting game. Obviously came down to the decision where we saw some sort of semblance of VAR. But I believe the rule is, I had asked one of the ref guys in the live, Malume Kuto, procedurally, what's the rule? And the rule is that you can change any decision as long as you haven't restarted the game. But It looked to be a clean goal for the 2-1, which came from a set piece, which is great, last minute. And then, of course, we took advantage of Stellenbosch pushing everybody into the box, waiting for the counter. Now, is this a game I'd love to play over and over and over again as Chiefs? No, because I think for much of that second half, they were missing, they were lost. The unit that started the second half was completely out in the second half. Lilepo, Dupreez, Modi were not in the game at all. Were not in the game at all for much of that game. And that's a little bit of a worrying factor in my eyes, if we're being honest. But, you know, as long as you get the win, I guess. Like I said, 3-1 is a flattering score because that game was very close for a lot of the game. Even Stellenbosch scoring from the set piece was what you could call, man, a lucky goal. But all goals count. It doesn't mean that lucky doesn't make it to the scoreboard. But well done to Kaizer Chiefs for making it to the finals of the Nedbank. And unlucky to Stellenbosch, they are the daily bread for Kaizer Chiefs, unfortunately. That is the team that is the daily bread, that keeps beating them every day. So I think that's going to continue, as shocking as that was, but that is how it is. Kaizer Chiefs march on, and I don't want to say too much, but this might be a chance to right some wrongs from the last 10 years if they can stay focused. It's not going to be an easy path, but you don't get chances like this very often. So I think we'll see that later on. I'll see you guys on the next one. Well done, Makosi.